She walks in like a thunderstorm, cracks the sky her own reform. No need for sorry, no need for shame. She's got fire running through her veins, yeah. Every step a battle cry. Oh, yeah. Watch her rise, watch her fly. She's bold, she's beautiful. She's unapologetic, breaking rules magnetic. Ooh, she's beautiful. The world is hers to take. Unstoppable queen. She laughs loud in a quiet room.
Good morning. Good morning. Happy Mother's Day weekend. Happy Friday. Happy all the things, y'all. I have been traveling, I feel like, for 3 weeks. It hasn't been that long, but it feels like it has been. But I have had a great time. Can't wait to chit chat with y'all about it. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, Shauna. Good morning. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You know what? Some mornings you wake up, the weather is so bad outside. It is really dark. So I was just like, whew, I need more than caffeine. We need the lively music. We need all the things. So good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Beauty of Aging. I'm Angel, the founder of Maison 276 and creator of the award-winning 3-step system for silver gray and blonde hair, a healthy way to brighten, cleanse, and restore the natural brilliance of your hair without the use of purple dyes. Available nationwide at select Walmarts and also on Amazon Prime. We gather here almost every Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, and we talk about a lot of different topics: fashion, beauty, lifestyle, wellness, all the things, but there are all issues that are important to you, the woman who is unapologetically growing bolder. And so this is Mother's Day weekend. And so we had to celebrate not just the biological mothers, but every woman who has nurtured. You could be an amazing auntie or a teacher or someone who has poured into hundreds, maybe even thousands of students, sometimes your staff over the course of your career. So today we're going to celebrate you, some reflective moments, some fun, and some things you never thought you'd say, but you find yourself sounding just like your mama. Good morning. Good morning. Let's check out, make sure, let's go. Okay, we're live over here on Instagram. Good morning, Yaya Roth. How are you? Happy Mother's Day. I know you are also a Mimi, so congratulations and enjoy all of your little ones. Let's go on over here to Facebook and make sure that community is turned on live. How are you guys doing? Want to know all your plans? Of course, I've got questions. We always got questions, right? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good morning. I am glad to be back. So I've been gone. Wait, I told y'all it's coffee for real this morning, y'all, and it's strong. So been traveling for quite a few weeks. Last week, my first Kentucky Derby. It was a blast. I have a very short 9-minute vlog that I posted a few days ago. It's the shortest vlog I've ever done, but it is like a whirlwind of my whole week, starting with meetings that I had in Bentonville, which, if you don't know, is the global headquarters of Walmart. So half of the week was in Bentonville, the other half of the week was in Louisville. And so when my husband asked me what I wanted to do for Mother's Day, it was nothing. I just want to rest. So anyway, that is a recap of where I've been. Hope you guys have had an amazing time. but want to drop some chats and questions into the chat as we are reflecting. Thank you, Yaya Roth, as we are reflecting not just on Mother's Day, but just women who nurture. And I'll start with myself. Of course, there is my mother, but another woman that is extremely influential in my life is my godmother. I was in middle school before she had children, so I was her baby for a very, very long time, and she just introduced me to so many amazing aspects of life. And many times the people in my family will say, "Oh, you're just like Martha." That's her name. And she definitely had a huge role in molding me, particularly as it relates to wanting the finer things in life. I love that for me, and I love her for that. And she still treats me like her princess. So definitely my godmother. And then the third woman was a teacher, and she actually did not teach me, but she was the head librarian at my high school. And she was like the third mother to me, so influential in my life, particularly as it relates to navigating college and just being a young woman coming into adulthood. So, Miss Sylvia Turner, anyway, I love her dearly. So, those are my top three women who have nurtured me. And if you have stories you want to share, please do. But I also would love to hear how how did you learn to nurture? I do think it's a taught skill. I don't think it's something that women inherently know how to do. It's just something that we're socialized to do. So would love to hear your thoughts on that this morning. Oh, thank you, Yaya Roth. Good morning, everyone. God bless. So, if you're just joining us, welcome to our Friday morning Beauty of Aging, the Coffee with Angel. We are talking in honor of Mother's Day weekend. We are talking about women who nurture. So, I would love for you to share some of your moments. And also, we're going to do a lot of self reflection because for many of us, it's easier to nurture others than to nurture ourselves. So while you guys are typing into the chat, I'm gonna type into the chat. Oops. Good morning, Sister Girl Chronicles. As a lifelong educator, I would love for you to share with us this morning because I know that you have nurtured, if not hundreds, maybe thousands of young people in the course of your career. And what did that look like? Because you can mother without being a mother. I would love to know how you did that over the course of your career, and how it impacted you as a woman. I would say as we learn to nurture others, we do learn a lot about ourselves as well. I think what it taught me was what I really need and what I really don't need. And that really relates to becoming a parent. Before you're a parent, you have pretty much all of your time to spend on yourself. And when I became a parent, because children do require so much from you. What I learned to do is, with the limited amount of time that I had for myself, how could I nurture myself in a way that made me not feel like I was neglecting myself? Oh, good morning. Good morning. So Charlene says she is a natural nurturer and she pours into others, but now she's finally getting to work on her. So she's in a moment of self discovery. And I do think in midlife, for whatever reasons, whatever circumstances life has presented to us, I do think for many of us, this is the first time we have truly, or we have the time, the luxury, and the bandwidth to figure out what does nurturing myself look like. Because sometimes how we nurtured other people was to give them what they needed, but it wasn't necessarily what we needed. So thank you for sharing that, Charlene, who happens to be my sister. You guys are quiet this morning. So if you're just hopping on, welcome to Coffee with Angel, the beauty of aging. We talk about a lot of different topics this morning in celebration of Mother's Day weekend. We are talking about women who nurture. And I saw that Sister Girl Chronicles was on the chat this morning. I know she is a lifelong educator. So I would love for her to share some of her insight on what it means to nurture people or young people or anyone who is not necessarily your biological child. And as we are in midlife and we're learning how to take care of ourselves, how to nurture ourselves. Charlene, since you started that topic, I would love to know, how are you learning to do that for yourself now? Like give us one or two things that you have learned, like, okay, this is a way that I need to care for myself. When I became a parent and figured out I only had a limited amount of time, I found that exercise was a way to nurture myself. It was something that I could do alone. It was for me. And I didn't need a lot of time, just maybe 30 minutes to an hour to work out. But that really fueled and revitalized me to be able to pour into everybody else that needed me, whether that was my children, my husband, my employer, my job, community activities that I was involved in. That little bit of time that I spent exercising really helped fuel me. And so that's one way I learned how to nurture myself earlier in life. And now, like many of us, we are finding ways that we have more time. So there are other things that we can do. Good morning over on Instagram. Yaya Roth. I would love to hear how you in midlife are not just nurturing others, but how you're learning how to nurture yourself. Shauna says the thing about school teachers, she thinks about the school teachers that made an impact on her. Exactly, which is why I teared up when I started thinking about Mrs. Turner. They're like second mothers in a lot of ways. And the passionate ones are a blessing. Absolutely, Shauna. And also the ones that are stern. I mean, mothering and nurturing can look like a lot of different things. When you mentioned teachers and you talked about the passionate ones, I immediately thought about one that was very stern, and that was Mrs. Conway, who was the English teacher. And I remember thinking she was so very rigid. Um, but that prepared me for college. And I remember going back to high school during break my freshman year, and she made me come into the class to tell all the students that she was right about everything that I told her. And she absolutely was. So teachers are incredible nurturers and guides and mentors in many ways. Even the teachers whose classes you may not actually sit in, but you're blessed enough to be in their circle of influence. Absolutely. Oh, Yaya Roth said, working as a teacher in a group home in New York, she had the privilege to mentor young teenage mothers who had been discarded by their families. So it was her honor to help them and to teach them life is not over. Absolutely, absolutely. And in doing that, Yaya Roth, perhaps for the first time, you modeled for them what healthy mothering looked like. And so that is not just helping those young women, their children, and generations to come. And thank you for sharing that, Yaya Roth, over on Instagram, because oftentimes those acts of kindness that we may see as just being our job or just something you're led to do by the heart, sometimes we don't even realize the ripple effect that that has on not just that generation. I'm sorry, not just that individual, but on generations. So thank you so much for sharing that, and thank you for just being there for those young women. That was beautiful. Good morning. Welcome to the Beauty of Aging Coffee with Angel. If you just hopped on in celebration of Mother's Day, we are talking about women who nurture. We've had lots of people share comments about teachers that influence them, women who have actually influenced others by the work that they've done in the community, because everyone can mother, everyone can nurture. I think mothering is can be used in a very general way, but it is really about pouring into someone and acknowledging that there are so many people beyond our biological family who nurture and have the capacity to shape really who we are in adulthood. So now we're going to talk about, we're going to be funny, a little humorous, because as we have grown older, as we have matured, I'm sure there are times that many of us can think about things that we say that we never thought we would say, but now as we're older, we find ourselves saying that. Oh, well, no worries, Sister Girl Chronicle. I had asked her earlier because I knew she was a lifelong educator to share her thoughts on nurturing. And she said she really had to hone her nurturing skills. The students need so much love and care because sometimes their lives are a mess. Right, absolutely. And you hear that a lot from teachers who find that they spend less time in many, depending on the circumstances, as much time teaching the subject that they are an expert in as they do teaching life skills and coping skills, and just really helping students maneuver their way through often some very traumatic and difficult life situations. So absolutely. And like Sister Girl Chronicles, and like Yaya Roth, Sister Girl Chronicles, you really have not only changed those students, but in many cases made generational changes by really showing them what love looks like. Right. Sister Girl Chronicles continues by saying many educators spend so much energy nurturing their students that it's hard to nurture yourself. The secondary trauma is hard for teachers. You know what? That is, thank you for bringing that up, because that is a topic that probably isn't discussed enough. And, I am not an educator, but I do wonder if the system provides resources for teachers in dealing with that. I know can be very difficult for young teachers who have spent so much time honing the technical thing that they're an expert at and may be ill prepared for some of the other things they have to manage in the classroom. And so thank you for bringing that up. And I do think why it is so important, why it's even further important that once you yourself are in another phase of your career, having retired, that you have found a way to nurture yourself, and that's through travel, your new business venture, by also nurturing other women and giving them and opening their eyes to other opportunities and ways to enjoy this stage of life. Whether or not you realize it, that is truly a form of nurturing. So thank you for sharing that. Of course. Hello, Tangle Silver. Welcome and happy Mother's Day weekend. We are talking about not just biological mothers, but all women who nurture, whether that though you're an amazing auntie. We've had many educators chime in about spending an entire career nurturing young adults, because it can look like a lot of different things, and nurturing and love doesn't just come from mothers. And also women who in midlife now are learning to nurture themselves. Oh, Shauna, that's amazing. So Shauna's daughter turns 20 on Mother's Day, and she's a mommy's girl. And because of that, because she was a single parent, it caused her to be more intentional with love and lessons towards her. Absolutely. Well, one, what a beautiful, beautiful Mother's Day gift to share and to have for her birthday to actually fall on Mother's Day. That's really special. Um, this was Teachers Appreciation Week, Sister Girl Chronicles. You're right. I don't know if that's intentional that they schedule that near Mother's Day weekend, but it's certainly apropos. It's certainly apropos. Good morning, Gail, and thanks for joining us in honor of Mother's Day weekend, Gail. We are celebrating all women who nurture, whether that's mommies, mimis, teachers, counselors, amazing aunties. And we've had a lot of women share, especially educators, how they've poured into students. Now, Shauna, you actually bring up something that is actually true, because on Mother's Day, a lot of women are people who were not necessarily close to their moms or did not have good relationships. Those can, it's kind of like every holiday is not necessarily a happy moment for people. Like, there are those of us who absolutely love the Christmas holidays, but then for many people, that's a painful period, and in a period that causes anxiety and stress for a lot of reasons. And I think we would be remiss in not realizing that Mother's Day is actually also can be one of those seasons. It could be maybe you were not close to your mom, if you, as you stated, or you could be dealing with grief of having recently lost your mom. So we would be remiss in not acknowledging that. And I do think this is that's a time when your circle, your tribe is really important, that you can lean on those people and they allow you to feel whatever it is you're feeling at the moment, and help you through that period. So thank you for bringing that up. And I think a congratulations to you, because you indicated that you had to learn that one on your own, but also you had other people in your life, even teachers who at the time when you're young, a lot of times we don't realize the lessons that we're learning from other people, and how to love, how to treat people, and things to not do, right? And so I think when you don't get that in the home, if you get that someplace else, to consider that a blessing and to be grateful for that. And I think that you have, just obviously by the relationship that you have with your daughter. Interesting story about my first Mother's Day. My first Mother's Day actually was spent in NICU, neonatal intensive care, because our firstborn, our son, was born 2 months early at 3.5 pounds. And so that was how I spent my first Mother's Day. It was none of the, I didn't experience a lot of the traditional things that you get leading, up to a baby being born, like, the showers and shopping for baby clothes, all those types of things, because it all happened so early that we were just kind of not thrown into knowing we were going to be parents, but just thrown into this very intensive, high stress period for, a good 6 weeks. Because he was 2 months old before he came home. And even when he came home, he was still under nursing care. We had home care nurses. So my entry into Mother's Day was very non-traditional, and that is definitely why I enjoy it so much and enjoy my children, because I have very difficult pregnancies. And while my daughter's entrance into the world was not quite as traumatic, it was because my pregnancy with her was managed a lot differently. So we didn't have the trauma on the back end. And so for Mother's Day, and I still have this, he turned 40 a few weeks ago. In front of each of the incubators, there was a little card, and they had put the baby's footprints, which are like this little, on the cards, these Xerox cards, and I still have it. Like I said, they had put their little footprints, the same footprints that they put on the birth certificate, and that was their little signature. So it was so sweet. And every time I think about that, I get one, emotional, and truly, truly grateful that he is healthy and just all the normal things. And at that time, you were just praying for a healthy child that could do all the things that people take for granted that their children can do when they're born, or when they're 4, 5, 6, whatever. And so ultimately, that's how it turned out. But my first Mother's Day, very, very different. And so truly, truly grateful. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Erica. Good morning, everyone. So, if you're just joining us, welcome to our Friday morning coffee chats on the beauty of aging. Today, we are celebrating Mother's Day weekend, but not just mothers, we're celebrating women who nurture. Whether you're the amazing auntie or the teacher, we've had so many educators talk about how they have had to, just out of sheer responsibility, nurture the students in their classrooms. And we've also had, including myself, women talk about how influential teachers were in terms of nurturing them and mothering them and molding them into the women that they are today. If you just hopped on, all of our coffee chats are uploaded to YouTube, so you can watch the full episode later. And we're also having women share that for the first time in their life, they actually have the time and the bandwidth to nurture themselves, to pour into themselves what they have been pouring into others for many years. Charlene shares that there's no one size fits all to celebrate Mother's Day or any holiday. We all have different circumstances and backgrounds, and it's a difficult day. And if it's a difficult day, regardless of whether it's Mother's Day or any other holiday that can be hard for you, she says to love on yourself and to give yourself some grace. Charlene, that is the phrase that we use on the beauty of aging all the time. And that is giving yourself grace in all situations, because we oftentimes are we very rarely give ourselves the grace that sometimes we easily extend to others. I think a few weeks ago, we talked about why we're so hard on ourselves, why we are often our hardest and our worst critics. And it is because we typically, as women, just don't extend ourselves a lot of grace. So no matter the topic on the beauty of aging, that is a theme you're going to hear all the time. Give yourself grace. So thank you for bringing that phrase up this morning. Erica says, absolutely, giving ourselves grace. And that was a great point, Charlene, about, when you come to a difficult season, if it's a holiday that brings up, difficult memories, or a loved one's birthday or an anniversary of any type, if you know, and this is actually something that I learned from Charlene. Charlene's my sister, if you didn't catch that earlier. And something that she learned in grief counseling, and she won't mind that I shared that, is that when you know a difficult date or season or holiday is coming up, that you actually plan to do something to love on yourself so that you're not left sitting with that day or that season with whatever negative emotions or thoughts or feelings that may bring up. So if you know a particular, well, since we're on Mother's Day, if you know that that's a difficult season for you, then plan to love on yourself in whatever way that means. It could be, giving yourself a spa day. It could mean whatever loving on yourself means. Sometimes that's retail therapy. And it's not about the amount. Sometimes for me, when it relates to retail therapy, it could be about just going by buying a single fun thing that I really enjoy. Right now, I'm in my fun purse season. So guys know, a few months ago I did an accessories vlog, and everything came from like Marshalls, Nordstrom Rack, um, Walmart. They were not expensive things, but I was in a mood to buy to elevate my accessories, and I just bought a bunch of fun handbags. And so sometimes it's not about the amount, it's just about the act of loving on yourself. Oh, Shauna says, gone are the days of the church mothers. Oh, that is, yes. You know what? You're right. Growing up, she remembers the older ladies in the church and outside the church. Yes, in the neighborhood and in the school, kept young ones in line, and you don't really see that anymore. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. And I think there are just a lot of reasons for that, Shauna, that just over time, I think churches are larger now, right? The mega church is a thing. And, I go to one of those types of churches. So I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But sometimes in those large environments where you have tens of thousands of people, it's different. While you may be still able to get the type of spiritual feeding, nourishment that you need, when you're in those situations where, and many of us grew up in churches where there were hundreds, not thousands, those close familiar relationships were just very natural. Like the church that I went to had not just my mom and my siblings, but my grandparents and cousins and aunties and, my great aunts. And so the family went to that church, and they literally knew you before you were born. They knew my mother as a child. And so those kinds of relationships give those women an authority, meaning the church mothers, an authority to reprimand you, to counsel, guide you, in ways that when you're in a larger environment and people don't have that history with you, they don't have the authority to check you. And so it's just a way that society has evolved. But you're absolutely right, honey. The church mothers, the deaconesses, yes, I was reprimanded many a Sunday, and I was not a difficult person. I wasn't a difficult child. I was a rule follower, and they still found times to, just pull me aside and be just like, no, no. So you're absolutely right. Good morning. Good morning. Well, welcome, welcome. And oh, absolutely, absolutely. Lost her mom 2.5 years ago, and she thanks God for the memories. Well, first of all, thank you for sharing that. And, it is a blessing to have amazing memories, because those memories once sustain us. And oftentimes it's those memories that become the legacy that you pour into other people. So, this Mother's Day, praying for you, hoping that in the midst of missing your mom, that you also can be revived and enlightened by all the memories that you have of her and that you continue to share. I know that, first of all, my sister and I feel very grateful that our mother is still with us in her mid 80s. But, it doesn't take much for our family to get together and start sharing hilarious stories about my grandmother, my maternal grandmother. I mean, she was a character. And so the memories are what sustain you. And over time, you'll get to share them and not feel sad about it, but be grateful that you have them. And I hope you're moving into that stage right now. So thank you so much for sharing that. Hi, Dee. Oh, she says, what a coincidence. Her first Mother's Day was in NICU. Her daughter was born 16 weeks early, micro preemie, 7 months. Oh my gosh, it's D, girl, you're going to make me cry. That is a tremendous blessing. And I think that what I found, and probably what you found too, in that experience is that people often take their normal, just their health in general for granted until you have something traumatic. And it is such an unusual experience. And I hope that you were able to find the support that you needed during that time. Honestly, for me, it was really interesting because a lot of my friends were also having babies at the same time. And my experience was just so different. And and I found that my closest friends for a 3 to 4 month period of time were women who were initially strangers, but we were all in that NICU unit together. And so even after we were discharged, our babies were still there. And we would just I spent my days in the NICU unit, knew all the nurses, like some of them we even stayed in contact with for years, decades. And so it is so important to have someone who is going through that experience. So I hope you had that. So anyway, happy Mother's Day. And congrats to your daughter. Beautiful and kind. It is truly a blessing. And I celebrate that with you, girl. It is a journey. Wait. Okay. I was like, I hear somebody saying preach. So I had to figure out, I think she's talking about the church ladies, Shauna. She's talking about the church ladies and my testimony about them doing all the things. But there were things that we needed at that time. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, Charlene says, this is great. I talked about my retail therapy being at Marshall's. That retail therapy doesn't have to be expensive. Charlene says dollar stores and thrift stores are also fun. Absolutely. Sometimes it's just getting out there for the adventure. Now, that doesn't mean you can't treat yourself to something special. That's not what I'm saying. Because I have my Poshmark has some things. I'm waiting to decide what I'm going to treat myself on. If you don't know, Poshmark is oh no, ma'am. I thought I had everything on Do Not Disturb. Poshmark is a resale site for luxury goods, and y'all know I love my purses. So anyway, but yes, dollar stores and thrift stores are great. Shauna, we got lots of comments on the church ladies. I love it. Shauna says she remembers thinking that they were mean, and looking back, she thought they were just she knows now they were just keeping her in line, teaching with the integrity, respect, and decency. Oh, yes, we thought they were mean. We absolutely, I felt like, do they ever smile? I remember thinking, does this lady ever smile? I absolutely thought they were mean. Absolutely. Like I said, and I was not even a problem child. Like I thought I was doing all the right things. But I thought I was a rule follower, but every Sunday, every Sunday, there was something every Sunday. But you're absolutely right. It was about representing yourself with decorum, treating people respectfully, everybody, especially your elders, being responsible. Because if you grew up in one of those types of churches, you didn't just come to church, you had to participate in everything, all of the youth activities. And in retrospect, that taught us leadership skills, how to work in groups, how to work with people who are different than you, in whatever different way. So many life lessons that I learned, just growing up in my neighborhood. Well, it wasn't in my neighborhood, but just growing up in the church that I grew up in, which is also the church where I was married. So many life lessons, Shauna. Absolutely. Oh, somebody says, wait a minute. Okay, Erica says, did you get pinched? Yes, ma'am, baby. Yes. If you don't know, y'all are getting a history lesson and what it's like to grow up in the black church. But yes, yes. So if you're just hopping on, welcome to the Beauty of Aging, our Friday morning chit chats. This morning's topic is celebrating Mother's Day and the women who nurtured us, whether they were our moms, our aunties, our godmothers, our teachers, and last but not least, the church ladies. And let me tell you, the church ladies are filling up the comments. And so Erica wanted to know, did anyone get pinched? Absolutely. Pinched under the arm was serious. Absolutely. Because they knew, Sister Girl Chronicles, they knew that's where that tender flesh was. Okay. Oh my gosh. Absolutely. Erica said they laid hands on us. Yes. Yes. They were the CPS. Because in fact, all of those lessons protected us when we were out in the world. And there were people who didn't have our back and who didn't care whether we strayed or not, honestly, who didn't care one bit. And so those lessons that they taught us of how to act, how to speak, how to be respectful, how to carry yourself with decorum, and somebody said integrity, those lessons are embedded, they're in our soul, they're just part of our DNA now. That's just they're who it's who we are. And so how they laid hands on us and nobody could even see, right? Just that pinch. Look, it was the same look that your mother give you. No words would be uttered. No words would be uttered. It would be the look. Absolutely. And Sister Girl Chronicle says, and then the peppermints after the pitch. Yes. Sister Girl, my mother still goes to church with a bag of peppermints. Still. Peppermints and cough drops. Yes, ma'am. Peppermints and cough drops. All love, all love, all love. And so, it's these days you actually have to, what I found and me and my friends found, in not having that, that particular type of community growing up, we found that we had to create it ourselves, whether that was with our friend group or small groups, within the larger church environment, to make sure your children still had eyes on them when you were not around, to make sure you had people that you trusted and who loved you and who loved your children, who had the authority to correct them when you're not around. That is still important because there are still people out here who don't have your children's best interests at heart and who will not care for them the way the church ladies did. And so just because we don't have those specific types of environments right now necessarily, we can still create those environments for our children and the grandchildren to come, right? In my case, yes, absolutely. Yes. Where would we be without them? Absolutely. Shauna says we ultimately became our right. Even if we fight it, some things we just end up doing. And that is actually, you segue perfectly into the next topic. I want to know, what are some things that you say that you vowed you would never say, but you sound just like your mother or whoever mothered you, or it could be a teacher, or just, I would love to know. I would love to know that. And that's a LOL. What are some things that you say that you vowed never to say? I would say, I would say, because I said so. I always, I was just naturally curious as a child. I read a lot, and that reading just spurned more questions. And basically, children in general are curious. And sometimes schools, especially, I think, sometimes squash that in in an effort to maintain order. But I think that is healthy, to have a curious child who always asks questions. But sometimes it is exhausting for the adults in your life. And you hear a lot of, because I said so. And I vow that I would not ever say that to my children. And I was very wrong. Sometimes you say, because I said so, because they're not mature enough to handle the question, that you have a very adult reason for not allowing them to do something. And sometimes you're just tired and you just need them to do what you need them to do. So I would love to know, what are some things that you said, I will never say that, and you found yourself saying it? Oh, Mary says now she knows who she can get a mint from when she's at church. My mother. She's always got something in that purse. If it's not a mint, it's definitely a cough drop, Mary. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Pauline. How are you doing? Welcome to our Friday morning chat. If you just hopped on, we have been celebrating Mother's Day weekend by celebrating women who nurture all across the board, not just biological mothers. And we have had the most fun talking about the church ladies. So if you just hopped on, make sure you rewatch that. Uh, Make sure you rewatch the full episode, which will be uploaded later today, because everybody had some fun church lady stories to share. And so now I want to know, what things did you say that you vowed you would never say? For me, it was because I said so. Byrne says it's so true. She says a lot of things her mother used to say, like, put it in God's hand. Yep, that's another one. At the end of the day, when they didn't want to talk about anything, when that was how they ended a topic, like, it's in God's hand. That meant they didn't want to talk about it anymore. You're absolutely right. Oh, yeah, Gwen, you're so right. When they quit, just keep living. Yes, multiple people have put that in the chat, Gwen. Yes, I say that all the time. I say that just keep living. It's like, especially when you're 20, like in your 20s, and you think you have it all figured out, and you can see all the wrong things that all the adult people have done or are doing in their lives, and somebody just looks over their shoulder at you and just like, keep living. Yes, that's one too. Shauna says her mom collects straws and plastic forks from everywhere. So anytime I pick up extras like that, I catch myself and say, "Stop it. You're acting like your mom." Are you going on a picnic? Like, why? Why? I don't do that, but I know someone who does. And I live with them. I'm just going to say that. But, and I like, are we going on a picnic? Like, why? Why? Oh, here's another one. An idle mind is a devil's workshop. Yep, that's a good one. That's how they would constantly keep us busy, right? Constantly, constantly. What are you doing? Nothing. You cannot. When we were growing up, you could not tell an adult person that you were doing nothing. Like that. That was a sure enough answer to have a chore dropped into your lap. You never want to, if somebody asks you, what are you doing? You don't want to say nothing. That was not the answer. Oh, yeah, here, oh, y'all are good. Money doesn't grow on trees. That's another one. Good morning, Testing and Vets. Well, welcome to our Friday morning chit chat on the beauty of aging. You just hopped in live. Today's chat is about Mother's Day, but not just Mother's Day weekend. We're celebrating all of the women who have nurtured us, from the moms to the aunties, the godmothers, the teachers, and the church ladies. Move right to the front of the line with some amazing stories of how they kept us in line, even though we thought they were so mean, but how those lessons have really influence the women that we are today. And we are truly grateful for that. So I am so glad you caught us live too. Sister girl, you're right. If you weren't doing something, they're going to give you something to do. You better not say I'm doing nothing. That's another one, Sister Girl Chronicles. Don't make me come over there. This has been great. Good morning. Good morning. This has been great. We have definitely gone down memory lane in the best possible way, ending on things you thought you would never say, but you find yourself saying, even if you're not saying it to your own children or grandchildren, to someone else. Absolutely. Pauline says her mother would always say, just wait till you get home. You ain't that hungry. That is so true. So this whole idea, right, of if you were going over somewhere, then you would eat before you left because you didn't want to show up hungry. Because even though you could have been going someplace where there was going to be food, but you didn't want to go, like they wouldn't want you to go hungry because they didn't want you to go and immediately start eating and then have people say, you don't want people to think I don't feed you at home. Like all of the pre-work that went into going someplace. And then when you got there, right, you couldn't ask for anything. Remember that, y'all? Like it could be stuff that was there for the taking, but it was like you couldn't ask for anything. So it was just like, what? We could have stayed home. We could have stayed home. Right. But then they also, now, Pauline, here's another thing they used to say: tell the truth, shame the devil. Sometimes they knew stuff about people's cooking that we didn't know. I'm just going to park that there. Because, y'all know I'm from New Orleans. But in general, we can be very picky about what we eat and who cooked it, who made the potato salad, all those things, who made the mac and cheese. And sometimes our moms fed us before we left home because they knew we didn't need to eat what was wherever we were going. So, yes, yes. Yes, not the perception that my kids aren't fed, right? Even though you were clearly invited to eat. Right, 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 right. Ooh, yeah, Sister Girl Chronicles. I said this one all the time. Ooh, I'm not your friend. I'm not your little friend. Yeah, didn't even put the TL on it. I'm not your little friend. Right. You're right, Shauna. All the mental gymnastics. just don't just don't question adults. Now, I actually don't believe that. I do think you should. I actually do think you should. And if they choose to answer, that's on them. But but yeah, but there were definitely some people, Shauna, we just learned, don't ask them anything. It's just not going to be worth it. It's not going to be worth it. Y'all, this has been so much fun. I don't know when we laugh this much, but we need more topics like this. So drop them in the DMs. That will get us laughing. It definitely did my soul well. So thank you guys so much. If you just hopped on, no worries. You can check out the full chat. I'm going to upload it to YouTube. It'll be there in just about 30 minutes. We have had so much fun celebrating women who nurture us. And many of the stories were funny. We shared about how things that irritated us as a child, we now know we truly, truly needed, and that those women truly had our best interest at heart. They really did. And we are forever grateful for them, and lessons that we can share not only with our own children but other generations. Nurturing and mothering does not have to have a biological connection. It is literally just any woman who wants to see you grow up and develop and be the very best version of yourself. Every single thing that God intended for you to be. So, thank you guys so much for sharing. Thank you for all the church lady comments. I had not had that conversation in such a long time, but it definitely brought up what are now good memories. Memories that I am grateful for. Yes, and they can be. Whoever mommed you, be grateful for that. And if you were fortunate enough, as my sister and I were, to have many, many women who played roles in your life in some way, whether it was for a short period of time in school or over a long period of time, thank God for that, because it is truly a blessing. Shauna always reminds y'all to hit that like button, subscribe, share, because I'm just here for the community. And I always forget those housekeeping parts. So thank you so much. As Charlene says, laughter is good for the soul after the morning prayer. Absolutely. Thank you, Erica. Thank you. And to our first timers, thank you so much for joining us. Please subscribe to The Beauty of Aging, which is my YouTube channel. I've got a couple of new vlogs coming up on 5 exercises for women over 50, but everybody can do it, because I know you're not there yet, Shauna. But everyone can do it. They're low impact, they're fun, and they're all things you can do outside. I filmed the whole vlog outside because spring is here, y'all. I just want to be outside. Now, you can do them inside, you can, but they're all things you can take outside, get some fresh air, get some vitamin D, get some sunshine on your skin. So look for that Monday or Tuesday. Thank you guys so much. I intend to do nothing. At least that's my plan for Sunday, to do nothing. Let's hope I do that. Plus, the weather is supposed to be terrible anyway, so we'll see. But whatever it is, it's going to be stress-free and relaxing. And I hope that's what you still cry. Oh, yeah, Roth. She dropped another one about things that our parents used to say. Are you still crying? Don't cry. I'll give you something to cry about. We're bringing out all the classics. All the classics. These are all the classics. Yeah. Who made that? Especially the potato salad. Especially the potato salad. That's why they fed us at home, Sister Girl Chronicles, even though we were going someplace where we were supposed to eat. That's why they fed us. Thank you guys so much. Have an amazing, amazing weekend. Get some rest. Love on yourself. And please, I am so serious when I always say I love your content recommendations. I love your topic recommendations for our Friday morning chats. This has been such fun. I have truly, truly enjoyed going down memory lane with y'all. I didn't know, I'll be honest with you, I didn't know Mother's, our celebratory tone was going to take a trip down Mother's Day or Church Lady Lane, but I am truly, truly grateful it did because I just really had a great time remembering all those things. So thank you guys. Have an amazing Mother's Day weekend. Love on yourself. And if you are fortunate to still have women in your life who loved on you, send them a text, a call, a shout out to just say thank you for being helping to mold me into the woman that I am today. Thank you guys so much. I love you. Take care. And I'll see you next Friday on the Beauty of Aging for our coffee chat. Bye, y'all. Absolutely, Shauna. I absolutely hope if you are in a season of missing your mom, I hope that you are sustained by memories and love and surrounded by loved ones. Absolutely.
Turns the dark into bright blue.